And welcome back, everyone, to the FX Open Invitational Series. I am Unstable, joined here by Lillian for this next game. It is going to be Game 2 of our losers match for Group C. Strelok versus Tier. The map is going to be Cloud Kingdom this time. So let's jump straight into it and see how it goes. Of course, Tier taking game number 1 in convincing fashion. But let's see if he can do it in game number 2. At the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss. Is going to be FXOTear. And then down here at the bottom left, it is going to be FXOStrelok as our red Terran. So Strelok needs to win this map, otherwise he's going to be out of the tournament completely. So we'll see how he goes. But then again, if Tier wins this one, he has to go up into face Revival in the final match. So let's see how that happens. Shall we, literally?
Yes, let's see how everything's going to unfold here. Strelok, you know, it was really looking like he got a little bit overpowered there in the last series. Even having that hidden base was still not enough to give him enough of an edge to win the game. So Tier, he's probably going to be feeling really weird, you know, about that last game. He's like, well, I had like an expansion for like 10 minutes over my opponent, and he still did quite well. So maybe he is better than I expected. It was a very weird game. I'm curious to see how this game is going to unfold. So far, it doesn't look like Strelok has got any sneaky plans for this game, as he's not grabbed the gas and just building his barracks in his main base. No proxies in sight. So we're probably going to get ready for just a normal PvT here.
Yeah, exactly. However, Strelok did go for a little bit of a strange strategy last time. I mean, Tier would have checked that replay in between games, most likely. When it comes down to like online tournaments, there's not as much strict rules on it, whether you can watch the replay in between games or not. I do know in GSL, you're absolutely not allowed to until the end of the set. Like, if you're in between games 1 and 2, you cannot touch that replay. But at the end, when like usually when you've lost, you actually sit down and look at the replays and like, that's what I did wrong. But we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure Tier would have been clicked onto the fact that there was a hidden base there. Of course, if anyone's wondering why he's playing under Lennox's name with Europe versus Korea, fairest server to play on is North America, of course. So just borrowing that account.
Yeah, it's really unplayable from Korea to EU, even though a lot of Korean players still do it, like in the Playham EU daily tournaments that Playham hosts that I sometimes cast for. We see Revival and Symbol and Violet, they all used to play there from Korea. Ooh, this SCV, ooh, lucky SCV there, out of Strelok gonna get out of there. But I was gonna say that even with the latency from Korea to Europe, there were still Korean Zergs constantly dominating those tournaments, so it is possible. But of course, the less lag, the better it is for your gameplay. Yeah,
it is possible. However, when you get to that point where it really, really matters, it starts to make a very big deal. And which is why there's a lot of friction in a lot of team leagues sometimes with the server rules and things like that. But anyway, we are going to see these two Marines sit at the top of the ramp, stop Tier's Zealot from coming through. 3 Marines, I'm sorry. I was hiding off the bottom of my screen. But this is going to be more of a standard game here from Strelok, getting that expansion after his first barracks, 2 barracks to follow this up with. And Tier now throwing down his Nexus as well. Pretty much the same build coming from Tier, so let's see the difference when Tier doesn't have his Nexus killed.
Well, actually, it's not the same build for Tier, sorry to contradict you there, but in last game he went for a gasless Nexus, and this time he actually grabbed a Cyber Core, grabbed a gas, made a Stalker. Last time his Nexus was way earlier. So this time around he's gonna have a little bit less of economy, but he does have those 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers actually. Wow, this is a bit unorthodox even. This is very different from what he did in the last game. 2 Stalkers and a Zealot. Did he make a Zealot as well?
He did make a Zealot. It's over here. Or it was on the watchtower. Where is he hiding? Did he? He must have lost it.
Oh, it still is at the first watchtower.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, 1 Zealot and 2 Stalkers before Nexus. That's a bit of an aggressive opening, even coming out of Tier here. Very different from what he did last time, only making 1 Zealot and then expanding. So Tier is going to be in a bit less of a favorable economic position right now, because Strelok is already mining for quite some time out of this orbital command, is dropping mules, and the Nexus for Tier is just now finishing up. He's following it up with a very standard follow-up, going into Robo and 2 gateways, taking the Robo first, which is a little bit of a risk, but he is going to be able to attack quickly.
Well, considering the fact that, oh, the Marines have just jumped out of that bunker, but Tier on the ball, not going to let them take the Stalkers out. Given the fact that Tier saw that build, going straight into that robotics facility isn't all that risky, I feel. Especially given the fact that it takes quite a while to actually build up a Marine or a Bio Force after going for that expand. However, we do see Strelok is going to start pumping those units out quite quickly. He's got a double tech lab and a reactor now on his barracks, and he's already got his factory on the way.
Yeah, you're right, it's stable. I also think that the Stalker opening that Tier went for, you know, the two early Stalkers is really good in combination with that early Robo, because those two Stalkers are going to be able to DPS the Marines down across the entire map when he starts to move out. So those two Stalkers actually helping a bit, making it a bit safer to go for that early robotics facility. So I like the build that Tier is showing us. He is dropping down the robotics bay and a forge right now, which could be indicative of some kind of a 2-base Colossus push. But oh wait, there's the second forge, so this is definitely not going to be a 2-base Colossus push. He's just going to be playing Colossus with heavy upgrades.
Yeah, he did lose his Observer to Strelok's army just then. Nice eye for Strelok. It's going to force Tier to completely retreat across the map. He does have a second Observer coming out now. Is he going to spot that one as well? No. I do remember, it was a while ago now, but when we were running the King of the Hills, I remember one game where 11 Observers were scanned and killed by the Terran player. It was absolutely hilarious, because every time it had happened, they'd pause the Colossus production, and ended up being like 20 minutes into the game, and there was still only like 2 Colossus on the field because the Observers kept having to be coming out instead. But we do see Strelok going for a quick third command center right now. It's only about 9 minutes into the game, so a very interesting thing to have for Strelok to come out with, especially after the style he played in the last game.
Yeah, it is. Strelok doing things very differently from last time, playing a very standard game, we have to say here. You know, grabbing an expansion at the 9-minute mark is rather early, but it's not super uncommon. He's grabbing that expansion as the first medevacs hit the field, as his stim and combat shields finish up, and he's going to be moving out across the map. That move out that Strelok did forced Lenok, I was going to say, that's Tier, of course. Forced Tier to make an Immortal before going into Colossus production. When you see that Terran army move out, you of course want to make a Colossus straight away, but the Colossus takes a lot longer to come out and you might not have the resources to start that immediately. So Tier going for that one Immortal, that's something that Strelok forced there. Of course, Immortals are decent to have, but they're not that good, if you know what I mean. You'd rather have your first Colossus out a little bit earlier.
Yeah, exactly. With the factory scout here, we also have the medevac coming up. He's going to try and stop Tier from getting a third base of his own. He's just popped up there, seen that it's not going on. However, he does see it go down now with his factory. But with that one Colossus there, I don't think Strelok really has a good chance of taking that down. But he is going to go for a double drop. Oh, no, he's going to change his mind. Oh, we wanted to put one Marauder in there. Okay, that makes sense. Did Tier see that medevac go across?
Ooh, with that Observer, I don't know. That would have been really close. I don't think he did. The Observer's not following.
Sorry, I was just watching this one Zealot trying to kill SCV down at the third base of Strelok, but the medevac was healing the SCV, so it took like 7 shots to kill it. Okay, so we do have a drop coming down in the main. Sorry, the natural. The main has a factory hiding near it, but Tier, he was just prepared, but he just sent those units out into the watchtower, and now he's going to be forced to pull the probes. His main army is here, though, warping into a Stalker and a Zealot. He isn't going to lose much, forcing Tier to back up. Forcing Strelok to back up. And yeah, everything looking pretty standard for a nice poking back-and-forth macro game.
Yeah, only one probe killed there with that drop. So that was, you know, it was a nice try by Strelok, but didn't really do too much with that. Strelok currently positioning his units in the bottom right side of the map. Not really sure what he's doing there. Looks like he realizes he's not really sure what he's doing there either. So he's going to be moving back towards his third base. Back in the main base of Tier, we can see he's just now starting 2-2. What are the upgrades looking like for Strelok? He's on 1-1 as well, and he should be starting 2-2 in a second. Does he have that armory yet?
Yes, I saw it in the production queue before. There it is. It's over to the right-hand side of the main. And there go the double upgrades. Okay, so he's not too far behind Tier in that regard.
No, it's looking like a really even game so far. Strelok got a little bit outclassed in the last game when it really came down to decision making and micro, but this time around in a macro game, it looks like Strelok is you know, keeping up very well with the Korean Protoss, and he's currently ahead about 15 supply, which is not bad at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so more gateways, 4 more gateways being put on here for Tier. He's on that 3-base economy. If he can somehow manage to get a pylon into when he actually engages, it will be able to force Strelok to completely back off. Looking at the Colossi count now, it's 3, soon to be... Actually, no, not soon to be 4. He's going to stay with 3? That's very strange. Normally you see them go straight to that 4. Oh,
It is
more
a little bit
gateways.
strange. So there's a lot of ways you can go about it, of course. Whoa, holy fat man. That's a lot of gateways. That's another
14.
2, 4, 6, 8 gateways being built, and he already has... Wow, he's got a lot of gateways, man. I see 14 right now. That's sick.
Yeah, alrighty. So this is going to be an interesting engagement. We do have. I swear to God, I just saw storms on the. Yes. Oh, it has actually been started yet. Okay, so we do have a Templar Archives out, but we don't have Storm just yet. Templars are being morphed in, but these guys just look to be just jockeying back and forth.
Yeah, neither player really wants to commit to an attack right now. 4th base being taken for FXOTear. Strelok not having a 4th just yet, but his 3rd base was considerably earlier, so he's still in a fine position. He can start that anytime in the next 2-3 minutes. And there's absolutely no problem for him at all. 2-2 has finished up for FXOTear. 2-2 not yet done for Strelok, and this is a timing that could be a little bit scary. Strelok definitely needs that 2-2 to help defend. He only needs another 10 in-game seconds for that upgrade to finish up, but it doesn't look like FXOTear is going to give him the time. FXOTear is going to engage right up into this, or no, he is not. He's going to be running out of here.
Well,
the Archon's going to start. Oh my
god!
Splash damage.
Yeah, the Vikings were just baited right on top of those Archons. However, there was enough for them to take down 2 of those Colossi. Another one is joining the battle now, but Strelok does not have any way to really engage those Colossi at the back. His Bioforce was higher than FXOTear's. However, we got another warp in of Zealots coming through. The force fields are actually going to start hurting FXOTear in a moment. They are starting to disappear now, though. Both these guys, even on the upgrades, remember, however, the pure numbers of Zealots, just Strelok can't compete with them. They're both still very similar on supply. 4 Ghosts on the way now for Strelok. However, we are going to see FXOTear just completely mow through this expansion now. I don't think there's any way Strelok can really stop it, because he had that next round of Ghosts rather than Pyro, Marinos and Marauders. We got another Archon here, and oh! The splash damage really taking its toll on all those Medivacs. They are all gone. And is he going to...
Really good
he's actually targeting down that orbital now, and the extra warp into Zealots, all those extra gateways just sealing the deal here for FXOTear, just warping in 14 Zealots at a time. Gotta love it when you see that.
Yeah, looks like the 14 Zealot warp-in is going to be too much for FXOStrelok as he GG's out of the game, and FXOTear is going to go and advance to the last match of this group. He will going up against TSL Revival to duke it out for a spot in the round of 32, guys. We'll be back with that match, Revival versus FXOTear, after this quick commercial break.